Welcome back to the fifth round. Myself, always, Stephen Moustaris hosting. And I just like to call it the 5 minute or less pod. And it's just me talking about my MMA stuff right now. And I was really tempted to even talking about this stuff because I like to consider myself more of like a diehard MMA fan or somebody that actually likes like true MMA or real boxing or anything like that. And we're gonna dive into this Ben Askren and Jake Paul situation that's going on, which is literally the fights in 4 days. Which I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely gonna watch it for sure. Gonna watch it, but it's tough because I'm right there with everybody. Where it's like I don't think Logan Paul or Jake Paul or any of these YouTubers like legit boxers or anything quite yet. And I mean, Jesus, we all know Ben Askren. If you watch MMA, Ben Askren clearly is one of the first people that you would like throw out there. It says they can be really successful without stand up or without anything other than wrestling or ground game. And so it's very fascinating. Clearly, that's why everybody's gonna watch this to see if Jake Paul can actually knock out Ben Askren, who's like a seasoned fighter and whatnot, but definitely not a seasoned stand up fighter. And that's gonna be the tough thing. But I don't know. After watching the news conference or whatever the other day, it was really frustrating because like I like to watch. Don't get me wrong. I love the shit talking. I love the Conor McGregor's, the Jorge Masvidal's, even the Ben Askrens. I love the guys out there. The Chael Sonnens, Chael P Sonnen, the guys out here that just talk that shit. But it was super frustrating to watch that and to see how like childish Jake Paul was. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't know Jake Paul. I'm not sitting here talking shit about anybody here because at the end of the day, I'm sure they could still kick my ass. I'm not even, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's just like he was so childish. Wouldn't let Ben Askren talk about anything like "fuck you, pussy," anything that he was coming up with. Like he would just shut him up, and it was really like cringy to watch if that makes sense. And I know it's gonna bring eyes and viewership and whatnot, but it's like, dude, you're already picking the worst fighter that you can possibly pick to fight right now as Jake Paul. If you picking Ben Askren, like it's one of the easier fights you can have. And I was on the board for sure that I knew Jake Paul was gonna knock out Nate Robinson. Like I knew it 100%. I was telling all my friends like, dude, this isn't even gonna be a fight. Like I'm ready to watch Nate Robinson get murdered for real, just because. I mean, I don't know Nate, but I've watched him play basketball, and trust me, I just don't think those guys are training like that. Like even when you train for 2 days, 3 weeks, couple months just to get in a fight, like dude, you're not gonna be anything. So I knew Jake Paul was gonna win that, and I wasn't even that interested in that fight. But this fight's kind of interesting just because Ben Askren has fought the who's who. Like even though he fought and won in Strikeforce and Bellator and all these motherfucking things, but like the dude has fought the who's who in the MMA and like dude, some of the most killer kickboxers, boxers, like some of the meanest people in the world, some of the meanest wrestlers, jiu-jitsu artists, and regardless if you hate on him for getting knocked out by Jorge Masvidal and then his poop fight against Damian Maya, like the dude went years and years and years and years without losing and actually fighting good competition. So I am very intrigued to see how this fight's gonna go. I'm not as sure as Jake Paul winning as easily. I'm still on Jake Paul's side a little bit. He's picking and choosing his fights. He's young. Ben Askren's slow. Ben Askren coming off a hip injury, like their surgery. So I get it, but Ben Askren he's just been in the game too long, and I think the clinching, the dirty boxing. Don't get me wrong. As long as they don't make it a fucking like a little pity pat fight like Floyd and Connor was, because anytime Connor would get him in a clinch or get the back or something to be able to throw, like I know in boxing you're not supposed to, but like they were calling that shit instantly. Like I can't remember the ref's name, but I know it's Floyd's guy that he always has refing. But it's just like it's gonna be interesting to see. I know this fight is not nearly as competitive as that, but it's gonna be interesting to see how the ref's gonna let it play out. Because if there's no clinching, Ben Askren's not allowed touching him, and every time he does, they get broken up real quick. It's gonna be an ugly fight. I'm not gonna lie to you, but if they let him kind of get ugly and kind of turn it into an amateur fight, like I think Ben Askren could do it and really embarrass Jake Paul. And I'm not saying he's gonna outbox him. I don't think. I just think that maybe he gets him tired, gets him like. Because I mean, we watched it with Nate Robinson in the last couple fights of Jake Paul. Like the guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just going crazy at him. Like, and with that pressure, it's tough to fight somebody. So I don't know. I'm really interested. And you also, real quick, you also have to give it up to Ben Askren because it's like, dude, you just came off and that just came off because you lost to Damian Maya, I get it, but like you're literally coming off the most embarrassing knockout of all time, most impressive knockout of all time, whatever you want to call it. Like he was on the wrong end of it with Jorge Masvidal, and for him to come back and just the way I've been watching a lot of his interviews and stuff, cause I like Ben Askren. I'm a big fan. I'm not saying he's gonna win, but I do like him, and you gotta admire the fact that the dude's coming out here, and he's okay with getting embarrassed. He's okay with all this stuff because he knows himself at the end of the day, and it's like, dude, you got to put yourself in the position. You know what I'm saying? You got to take chances out there. Like, there's a chance I can get knocked out like that anytime. There's a chance I can knock somebody out like that. You know, so it's pretty cool his mindset on it, and it seems like even if he gets beat or gets embarrassed, like he's not gonna care. And I think it's actually, I think we're noticing it right now that I don't think Jake Paul was anticipating Ben Askren turning into such a big fan favorite right now because just way he's carrying himself and whatnot. And if you're not a little 13-year-old kid who loves Jake Paul, like you're definitely on Ben Askren's side right now. So I'm excited for this fight this weekend. I'm thinking Jake Paul is probably going to pull it out, but I would really like to see if that clinch game's allowed and Ben Askren, like, I mean, clearly not crazy clinch like Muay Thai clinches, but like if they a little dirty boxing, get that clinch going, throw some mean hooks. Ben Askren's strong, man. So I don't know, but I'm excited, and yeah, I'm hoping Ben Askren put the end to this YouTube boxing shit because I don't know, I just don't see it, man. I know how they're getting views and whatnot, but it's like I'm just a diehard fan. I'd much rather watch a Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, or Kelvin Gastelum, which I'm going to be watching. I'll be watching the Kevin Gastelum versus Robert Whittaker fight, but still, this has been the fifth round. Stephen Moustaris as always. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.